Hey guys, it's Miss Delcambre. Today's Monday, April 5th, and here's a rundown of what we did today. So we'll go over what our assignments are. You'll need to work on Builder 25. We did our mock star questions. We started into categorical data on 17.5, so you'll need your notes, and I'll discuss some of the activity that we did together in class, and then we'll go over our homework. So you'll need your journal, pencil and highlighter, and a pen, and your notes for 17. 5, which is categorical data. So let's look at what this week entails. So we'll be spending 2 days on categorical data. Your homework tonight is 17.5 worksheet, the AB side, and Builder 25. Tomorrow, again, Builder 25 and our study guide. Wednesday, we're going to do our review, which is on a Kahoot. So please make sure the review is done on Wednesday morning. Thursday, we're going to do our Module 17 test, which is our last test grade on our units, excluding your builders. And then Friday is our Prodigy Day, and you have a safe and enjoyable spring break, and we'll see you in 2 Tuesdays on the 20th. Okay, so let's get going. Minimize. Let me get to my screen. Okay, so we're going to talk about categorical data today, guys. And we've been talking about quantitative data, and quantitative data deals with numbers. That N in quantitative deals with numbers. That's what we've been doing here lately when I've been asking how many siblings you have.
Mama.
Hold on. All right, so we got a little helper here today. All right.
TV.
So we have our quantitative data, which is dealing with numbers such as height, number of siblings that you have, your shoe size. We're asking all that questions when your answer was going to be a number. Other data is called qualitative data, okay? And think of this as literature. Highlight that. That is not a pen. This is my pen. Qualitative. These are dealing with words such as your eye color. You'll say green or brown. Favorite type of music. The color of shoes you have. Your color of top. Anything like that. Qualitative. You're dealing with a word that's going to be your result. And that qualitative data that we're getting falls into categorical data. And this is data that are sorted into categories on the basis of qualitative characteristics. Okay, so think of this qualitative, that LIT like literature, and you're dealing with words. Okay? Now, with all the measures of center that we've been talking about, the only one that works with qualitative data is mode. Because you can't find the median, you can't find the mean, you can't find the average, you can't find the range, but you can find the mode. And the mode is to summarize or describe categorical data. The mode of categorical data is a set of categories that occurs most often. Just like with a number, occurs most often, categorical data is the one that occurs most often. If all categories have the same frequency, then there would be no mode. So, Carl sells red, blue, black, white, and green shirts online. One day, Carl received orders for 4 red, 5, 6 black, 6 white, and 3 green. So we're going to complete the dot plot. And do you see how this has no numbers on it? So this is qualitative. It has words there. So I'm going to put 6 black for this dot plot. 4, 5, 6, 6 white, and 3 green. Okay? Which color shirts are most and least popular? Well, if you look, the most popular would be black and white because it's the tallest one. So black and white are the most popular. and green is least popular. So identify the modes in the data. The ones that were chosen most would be black and white. Okay? Now, when we talk about relative frequency, basically it's finding the ratio of what the frequency is to the total. Okay? So it's a ratio that talks about the sum of the frequency to all the categories. Okay? So it can be written as a fraction or as a percent. So you're going to see it as a percent a lot. I'm going to put a star right there by percent. So for example, 6 out of 24 orders were black shirts. So the relative frequency would be black. All right. So let's turn this over. We're going to come back to this page. I'm going to show you what we did there. So we're going to create our frequency tables. So here the table shows the results of a survey of students about their favorite summer sports. Make a relative frequency table of the data. So here they took the information and they put it into the different categories. Then they added to figure out the total. Sorry. Okay, now let's see. Here we are. All right, so they took what they had with the baseball, the basketball, the swimming, the soccer, the track, and the softball, and then they came down here and sorted it and did a relative frequency. So how they got the percent was, well, how do you go from 25 to 100? Multiply by 4, and that would give me 100. 5 times 4 gives me 20, so it would be 20%. Okay? So if we look here, Chewy has 40 dimes, 20 pennies, 10 nickels, and 10 quarters in his coin jar. Make a relative frequency table of the coins in the jar. So if we're looking here, we're looking at types of coins. So we have dimes. So here we're going to put our words: dimes, pennies, nickels, and quarters. Okay? If I add them all up, I get a total of 80. All right? And then if I'm solving this, well, I have 40 out of 80 that are dimes, 20 out of 80 that are pennies, 10 out of 80 that are nickels, and again 10 out of 80 which are quarters. So if I'm looking here, I can reduce this to a half. This is a half, which is 50%, because that's benchmark fraction. 20 over 80 reduces to 1/4, which is 25%. Now, 10 out of 80 reduces to 1/8 and 1/8. And 1/8 is a benchmark fraction. However, I can look at it and say, okay, I have 50 and 25. That gives me 75. So I have 25% more, and I have to split that between the two. And if I divide 25 up in half, I get 12.5% for each time. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take this information and I'm going to make a graph out of it. And I'm just going to make a circle graph or pie graph. So I'm going to turn my page over. Here I'm going to just take something to give me a circle. Okay, so there's my circle. And I'm going to half it. Okay. Okay, that's my tip, halving it. So I know half of it was dimes. So this half right here will be dimes, which is 50%. And then I know that if I have this left over, that's 50%. And if I have 50%, I get 25%. So this section would be 25%, which would be pennies. And then I have that other part to split between nickels and quarters. So each of those would be exactly 12.5%. Which would be 12.5%. And this is nickels, which is 12.5%. Okay? So I just did a circle graph to show that I can represent that data that way. Okay, so what we did in class, and I'm not going to go over this, I'm going to show you what we did, is we took our information, took our items that we had. We had candy. I had little mini M&Ms, we had Skittles, some people had jelly beans, and we created our own frequency table. Okay, and this was mine for my first period class, and I believe I did purple. Oh, I did sweet tarts on this one. So I had yellow, red, green, and purple sweet tarts. Okay, and I had a total of 20. Okay, I had 7 yellow, which would be 7 out of 20, which is 35%. I had 6 out of 20, which is 30% red. Had 3 green, which is 15%, and 4 purple, which is 20%. And how I found that out, well, is because I made it into 100, so times 100. So to get 20 to 100, I multiply by 5. I multiply the bottom by 5, I must multiply the top by 5, which gives me 35 over 100, which gives me 35%. Okay? So then I made 2 graphs. I made a bar graph, and I will know a bar graph is relative frequency if it has percents over here and if it says relative frequency. So here on my x-axis, I put the colors, yellow, red, green, purple. Okay, and then I labeled my y-axis, my relative frequency, into percents, and then just did a bar graph that way. So I took this data and made a picture out of it. The other one I did was a percent bar graph, and with a percent bar graph, it's have a line going from 0% to 100%. Now, I have yellow that was 35%, which I have up there, and as you see, it goes 0 and it stops at 35%. Okay. Red was 30, so if I add 30 and 35, I get 65, so it would go to 65. All right. Green was 15, so 65 plus 15 gives me 80, so it would go to 80. I look, I have 5 and then 10, so that's 15. And then the last one was purple, which was 20%, so that would close it out to 100%. With a percent bar graph with relative frequency, it will always go to 100%. Okay, so that does it for us today. Please make sure you get to your homework. You do not have to do 6, 7, and 8. And tomorrow we're going to briefly go over in our notes, and we're going to be doing an activity that involves Google Forms that you'll be creating with Google Forms, and you'll be sending out surveys and gathering your own data. Okay, so have a wonderful day. Take care. Make good choices, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye, guys. Say bye, CK. Say bye-bye. CK, tell them bye-bye.
Bye-bye.